Cool.
How's it going there, Annie?
There.
All right.
Cool. All right. We got more people showing up.
Yeah. And then I can just promote to co-hosts.
Mhm.
So you can get. All right. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Code for Boston. My name is Matt, and I am on the leadership team here at Code for Boston, along with we have Annie with us today, and Alex is here. We might also have Thad and Brian in the room. So if you have questions, need help with anything, feel free to talk to one of us, and we'll be more than happy to help. The way this is going to work is we will first have announcements, and then after announcements, there'll be project updates. And then after project updates, new folks can stay in this Zoom, and Alex and I will give you new member orientation so you can learn about how we do things and then get situated with a project. So with that said, let's get started. We are governed by a code of conduct. Make sure to read it, and just want to make sure that you all know that we are empowered to enforce the code of conduct. So if you have any issues with anyone, talk to one of us on leadership or email hello@codeforboston.org, and we will take care of it. Next, want to encourage folks to follow and share our content on social media. We definitely update the YouTube every single week. There are tweets that we will post some different things to. And of course, the weekly email newsletter drops on Wednesdays. So if you have anything that you want to share for these things, if you have different project updates or news or civic tech events or jobs, send them my way, and I will make sure that they are all included and distributed to our community so folks know what's going on. Next, meetup. Make sure you are practicing your RSVPing on meetup.com/codeforboston. That is and will be how we work on assembling the list for our in-person meetups, as well as also boosts us in the meetup algorithm. So make sure that you're doing that. And I will, in a couple minutes, sort of discuss what we're planning for July. So just want to encourage folks to do that. Also, you can bookmark us at codeforboston.org/rooms/CFB. That'll get you into our Zoom. And then slack.codeforboston.org is where our community is. It's where you can go ahead and sign up if you're in the Zoom and or YouTube, but not yet in Slack. I can say hello to folks and get engaged. We are a nonprofit, and we will be buying pizza again. So want to encourage folks to start to talk to your employers about how they might support us. So you can directly make a donation on codeforamerica.org/donate to a brigade. And that takes credit cards. You just specify Code for Boston, and that money gets earmarked for us. Otherwise, we are also able to work with a bunch of different employer donation platforms, Benevity, and those sorts of things. And so if you have a matching funds program or other support that your employer provides, you can talk to Harlan or I, and we can help you with the logistics on making sure that Code for America gets that money and that they know that it's intended to support our efforts here at Code for Boston. So that this is an old event that happened because it was actually June 10th. So that was a typo, but I hear it went very well. So big thanks to Anita for organizing it. And then before we do Project Stand Up, I do have a brief update on the return to in-person hybrid meetups. So the Code for Boston leadership team has been over to the CIC. We've been talking back and forth with them about what it might look like, what their situation is, and what is available. And so we will be returning to the 4th floor of CIC, which is off of Kendall Square and Broadway. So we will be going back home. So it should be a nice little homecoming for folks. But it looks a little different over there. So they are installing or have installed different Zoom cameras into each of the conference rooms. So there'll be 4 conference rooms equipped with cameras that folks can hook up to Zoom, along with, I don't know if folks are familiar with Meeting Owl, but they are a Somerville-based startup. And so they have 2 lovely owls named after Harry Potter owls that we could borrow and bring into the conference room, and that provides sort of a 360 perspective for teams that use those. And so you'll be able to broadcast folks that way. So you'll get both sort of a panorama of the entire conference room, and then it zooms in on the individuals who are speaking using the microphones. So that equipment will be there and will be available to enable folks to have a productive hybrid setup. I've put into the project leads room some information for the different project leads. So as we have some new equipment and get used to the new things, there is going to be a bit of a learning curve and some adjustment. So in the initial few weeks, we will only be sort of inviting folks that are project regulars that have regularly been participating in projects in the community that we're familiar with, and folks that, you know, are definitely, of course, the actual leads to the projects that can work on sort of starting to learn about some of the different equipment and also organize their teams. So the way it's going to work is you are going to, if you want to appear in person, the first one is going to be July 13th. You should talk to your project lead about that if you're interested in doing so, because they're going to let me know or give me the thumbs up for all the people from their team that can come in person at CIC. We will also ask you to RSVP to the meetup, because that's where I will source the list that is going to the security folks at CIC. So I'm going to basically print that out, check it against the list of names the project leads give me, and then that's how we're going to confirm folks that are able to come into the fourth floor kitchen. We'll work on making sure we have our Cambridge Pizzeria pizza for everyone, so they'll be able to enjoy food, break a little bread together. And then we are also in the process of working on figuring out how we are going to best broadcast announcements. They have some equipment there. And then I've been talking with some folks about optimizing what we need to do for microphones and that sort of thing for project updates, and also coordinating a little bit of the ping pong that we may need to do between folks that are, or groups that are virtual versus groups that are in person. So it's going to be, I think, a learning experience for us all, and we will have an opportunity for project leads to meet at 6 p.m. a little bit before the usual meetup time. Staff from CIC will provide a walkthrough and instruction on all the different equipment so that you can feel familiar with it and engage with it there. If you're a project lead and you haven't yet responded to my message in the project leads channel in Slack, definitely encourage you to do so. If you're a project regular and you're interested on attending our first in-person meetup in person on July 13th, talk to your project lead. And then in regards to the virtual meetup, we'll still be on Zoom. We'll still be on YouTube. We'll connect to there. So if you want to be virtual, you can do the same thing that you normally do. It's just that you will maybe see a little more of our bodies. You'll see some different camera angles and some new backgrounds. And then, you know, we will work on iterating and adjusting as necessary. Finally, I know folks may have questions about procedures and safety and how it's all going to work within the CIC. I'll try and circulate some more information about that as we get closer. Things have been, you know, sort of in flux with the CDC guidelines. But as of right now, the CIC does not require folks to wear masks inside the facility as long as you are fully vaccinated. So they follow CDC guidance. Obviously, folks will not be wearing masks when they're in the kitchen eating. There's opportunity to use the outdoor patio space. They built a new outdoor patio on the 5th floor. So if your group doesn't need to have any virtual members and wants to meet outside, there'll be an opportunity to just gather at a nice outdoor picnic table and then work there. There isn't really a ton of power there, but all the Wi-Fi works and there's lighting and it looks beautiful. There's a nice little view of Cambridge from that space, and you should be able to get access to it there. And then, of course, within the individual conference rooms, encouraging folks to have some discussions about folks' level of comfort and, how you're distancing and being together. So if you have concerns, please feel free to talk to us on leadership. Like I said, we will be circulating some more information as July 13th, I believe is that Tuesday. So that's the second Tuesday. We sort of presumed a lot of folks might be away the 6th. So that's why we made it the 13th. And yeah, absolutely excited to finally see you all again. So with that, let's move on to project updates. And let's start with the Good Governance Project Advocacy Map. Do we have a Matt Victor in the house?
Hey, we do indeed. Hi, everyone. My name is Matthew Victor. I'm a student at BC Law. We've got this Good Governance Project Advocacy Map up and running. So the platform is live. It's in its beta state. We've had it here for probably a month now, and just been trying to figure out what the next step is, what we want to build on top. And so that's where we are. And we've identified a few pieces to build on, mostly UI, and like sort of putting together a few infographics to explain to users what our sort of product is. So moving it forward. So
awesome. Thanks, Matthew. Next is Plog Along. Any from Plog Along? I know they've been off, so let's just move on to Clean Slate.
So I'm Michelle from Clean Slate. We're going to keep working on our long-term goals right now, the adult stealing content and flow, user research, looking into what our next steps will be there, the testing framework, as well as assessing data where it's at and trying to create some good starter documentation to get people on board when they jump in. Thanks.
Awesome. All right. Next, I know Windfall's kind of been on pause, but Thad, do you have any Windfall related updates this week?
No, thanks for asking, Matt. I think we're going to go on pause again, but we did have a lot of interest on the channel. So definitely I'll make sure to respond to everybody that wants to engage in the channel, and I'll try to groom some more issues. So let me know if you would like to work on the Social Security project.
Awesome. Thanks, Thad. Definitely saw Daryl's here. So let's hear it on Police Data Trust.
Yeah, so I guess the main thing is we're going to be moving on to an AWS server in front instead of what we've been using previously. So that should be interesting, but otherwise still working on building out some of the connections between the data structures between the partners and getting into the transforming everything into what works with the index. Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks, Daryl. And then last but not least, who's pitching for Mattapan mapping?
I can do it, Matt. So last week we continued to work on the short-term demo that I believe is now happening on June 25th. And we made good progress in being able to put boundaries on the map, update graphics, and add the ability, a sound component, so that when you click on an icon on the map, you can play some sound. This week, we will be continuing to work on that demo and also continuing to do some more longer term design work. For the project itself, we are always looking for folks who know React and TypeScript, and who are interested in design or content. So that's us.
Awesome. Thanks, Annie. So with that, new folks stay in here, and we'll be starting new member orientation shortly. Everyone else, thanks so much for dropping by, and happy hacking.